Okay, now you have a pretty good understanding of this already based on the our Zoom class on Friday when we were on Desmos looking at slope and different slopes of different lines, and a lot of students understood that the vertical change, which is called the rise, compared to the horizontal change, which is called the run, tells you your slope, the slope of your line. It's the ratio of the rise to the run. Like, how much is it going up compared to how much is it moving to the side? That will tell you the slope of your line. Glancing at my notes because I feel like there's something important there that's not there. Well, that's interesting. Oh, there it is. That's what I need right there. Okay. You can find the slope of a line graphed on a coordinate plane by counting the units of change between the coordinates of 2 points on the line. And a lot of times when you first see an explanation like this or a definition or something, it's not going to make as much sense until we start using it. So let me just say that slope is the ratio of rise over run. But we're also going to represent that as the difference in the y coordinates, delta y, over the difference in the x coordinates, delta x. Delta means change. So it means how if I take 2 points on my line, how is the y value changing? How are the y coordinates changing when I go from one point to the other? And then I put that as my numerator, and then my denominator in my ratio is how much is the x coordinate changing. So that's delta x, delta y over delta x. So we'll be writing this a whole lot, delta y over delta x. So as an example, I need you to write this every time. Delta y over delta x. The slope of this line, it looks like with these little dashed lines, they were starting at point A. So I'm just gonna, you're not gonna have to do this every single time. I'm just trying to help you see something. If I'm going from A to B, if I'm going from point A to point B, then the delta y, the change in y, well, at first I'm way up here at 4, and then I moved down to 1. So I went down 1, 2, 3. If I went down 3, that's negative 3, a change of negative 3. From there, from this point right here, I move 1 to the right. So the delta x is positive 1. 1 to the right would be positive 1. So the slope from point A to point B, the slope of this line would be negative 3 over 1, which would just be negative 3. If I went, let me use a different color, if I did delta y over delta x, but I went from B to A, if I started at B and I went to A, my change in y now would be from 1 to 4. That would be positive 3. From there, my change in x would be 1 left, so negative 1. And 3 divided by negative 1 is also negative 3. So you see you get the same slope whichever point you start at. Any 2 points on the line, when you calculate delta y over delta x, will give you the same slope. That's what makes the points linear. They're all following that same ratio. It makes them all collinear.